I had left the final edit of yesterday's episode until almost too late. It almost didn't make it. For those of you who like to watch it in 4K on your big screen TV, you were almost out of luck. But we made it. Anyway, to what you're looking at here. Remember at the end of yesterday's episode I was saying something about I couldn't tell the difference between these two parts. And we take a close look. Well, we ran out of time. Now we're taking a close look. And no matter how I look at these, they look the same. No matter what I do with them, they look the same to me. They could have given them the same number, but they didn't, and that's what threw me. Anyway, I don't think it matters which side of the boat the ship, we put them on. I think it's going to work out okay. Anyway, let's carry on here and get some photo etch. Now, it seems to be a little bit hard to get a good shot of this. The reflection is wrong no matter what I do. Anyway, right now you can see them quite clearly. We need 5 C11s. And by the way, I can't get over the delicate photo etch right here. I know I mentioned that before. I believe this thing is probably a catwalk that goes around the inside of the funnel somehow. That's going to be fun to put on. Okay, what I'd like to do right now before I forget is I would like to re-demonstrate what one of the viewers has referred to as my squeeze and twist method. Now actually, it is the other way. It is twist and squeeze, not squeeze and twist. Let's just take this as a sample. We're going to have to do this eventually anyway. And I don't think I will forget, or I need to have the number on the sprue to know what this part is. They look like an M, or is it a W? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Probably an M. It's on the inside. M2. Well, like I say, how can you go wrong? It's the only parts that are going to look like that, so don't need to worry about getting them mixed up. Now, here's what I want to make clear. Maybe I'll move in a little bit on this part right here. Okay, this is kind of important. You want the flat part of the cutter here at the same plane as whatever this edge is that I'm touching right now. In other words, if the edge is this way, you want the cutters this way. If the edge was the other way, you'd want the cutters the other way. Now, in this case, the edge is at 90 degrees to the sides of the superstructure, or the bulkhead. So you want to try and have this as best as possible to 90 degrees. Okay, now you don't want it this way or this way. You want to have it come in from the sides like this. Now you begin your squeeze very, very slightly when you're sure that you have the cutters on the same plane. Just a little bit. Okay, then you start to rotate, and you keep the cutter just a slight squeeze on it so that it's not going to change its angle. Okay, now I suppose this isn't going to work because the camera's on, but we should be able to squeeze that off now. All right. Now the reason I do it this way and then squeeze, like I do it like this, and then rotate, and then come in and squeeze this way, is so that this cutter that I'm touching now will come in from the side. It won't have a tendency to pinch it off. Let's just take this other one here. Okay. Now, I'm not going to do it, but if I was to go the other way and start this way first and then twist it off, it would have the effect of taking a pair of pliers and twisting the thing off. You know what? I'll bet you I could demonstrate real well with a piece of wood. Anyway, I'm going to do one more here. I think you kind of get the idea. Have the cutter nice and flat, gently squeeze, but don't start your cut yet. You just rotate on it. You're rotating on it, and you're almost parallel here. Okay? Then you do your squeeze. Okay? Then there's no danger of twisting it off if you go the other way. I'll show you once again. I'll demonstrate what I mean. Don't start like this and then twist, because you might accidentally twist it off, and then you're ripping it off here instead of cutting it. You want to try and have it so that it cuts from this edge in. It's not too important what happened to the inside, but it'll come clean as well. You want to start have it so that the actual cut, the cutter is at this angle like this. Okay, that's the best I can do here to try and clarify what I was saying. I may not have made it clear when I talked about this a few weeks ago. You know what? I'll stick the macro lens on. We'll do one nice and close. You know what, I'm going to have to turn that around because I can't hold it down and swing the plier around at the same time. That almost doesn't need any sanding. Now, about our parts C11. It's been recommended that I paint these while they're still on the sheet before I nip them off. Now, the problem is you can't see it because you're looking through it, but the protective plastic is still on the other side. So I'd have to cut it off so that I could paint the other side. I realize that it's a good idea, and I know that when we did the railings on the Bismarck, yes, we did paint them while they were still on the sheet, and then we nipped them off afterwards, and it seemed to work out okay. And I guess if I was to nip it off right there, there would be a little bare spot on the side of this thing. Well, I could always paint that up if it was glaring, I guess. Anyway, I think I will try to see if I can't just cut the plastic off just on the other side, just where these things are, and then paint them, then nip them off, and put them somewhere where they'll be safe. I wouldn't want to leave them on the sheet because they're just they'll be too easily bent. You know, this part here, it's stuck onto the other side right now, so it's supported a little bit. But once the sheet is gone, well, yeah, no protection. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble here. It was less than 48 hours ago that our friend Tony in Mississauga mailed us another package. Now, Mississauga, some of you don't know where Mississauga is. It's part of what's known as the GTA, the Greater Toronto Area. And my brother lived in Mississauga for a while, so when I went to visit him, I became familiar with Mississauga. But you can't tell the difference when you drive out of Mississauga and into Toronto. It's all together, one big, huge area. We call it Toronto. At least that's the way most of the world thinks of this city here in Canada. They think of Toronto. Anyway, we'll say Tony lives in Toronto. And he sent us a package less than 48 hours ago, and it just arrived in my mailbox here this morning. I think our Canada Post mail service is getting back to normal, even in spite of this COVID-19 problem. Now, here's something that I find a little bit amusing, and I'm not upset about it or anything, and I don't want anybody to be getting into trouble over it. However, if you notice the timestamp at the top of my surveillance system, and it's dead on. I did check later. It's different from what Canada Post says the package was delivered. The Canada Post claims it was 2 minutes after 10, and I think the camera says something like about 11 minutes after 10. Now, this is no big deal, except that I checked my email, and Canada Post had sent me an email at 4 minutes after 10 saying it had been delivered. Well, that's not the case. Anyway, I did check to see if my surveillance system was correct, and it is. Like I say, I don't want to get anybody to get into any trouble over this, but I was trying to think of what could have gone wrong here. And then I realized what the guy probably does is when he leaves his truck at the end of the street before he starts his run, he scans everything as being delivered, because he knows he's going to deliver it in a few minutes. But I don't think that's the way it's supposed to go. Okay, a fair amount of time has passed since we got this package here, and I've been doing a lot of thinking about it. We will have our package opening in a minute here. Nothing really serious has happened here, except that I was thinking, what if I had have noticed that I got the email stating that the package was delivered, and then I went out and checked my mailbox right away, and there was nothing in there. I would have kind of panicked. I'd have thought, oh, maybe the guy delivered it to the wrong, to the wrong mailbox, or, I probably would have phoned Canada Post and saying, hey, he said it was delivered. There's nothing in my mailbox, and I don't know. What do you think? Should I let the post office know? I'm not going to do anything about it, at least not for right now. I'm just going to wait and see what kind of comments I get. Should I, like I say, I don't want anybody getting into trouble over this. The poor guy's probably trying to make a living to support a family, and when I was working at the express office here in the Winnipeg Bus Depot, I probably took shortcuts too. Can't think of any right now, but I probably did. Anyway, let's see if I can't just get the other side off of here, just off of this one little area here, and that way I can mask it off and then spray these while they're hooked onto the part. And then we'll have our package opening. Now I realize you can't see it, but the plastic coating is on this side only. So I think what I'm going to try to do is leave it on everywhere else. We'll just go around like this. Now, how do let's see, I want to support these pieces right here still, so I don't want to be taking it off of there. I think I can probably just go like this. Okay, now we'll go from like this. I know what you're all thinking. You're thinking you're not going to let me do eye surgery on you. Okay, now see if I can get that out of there. Is it going to pull off? Where's my tweezers? Here we go. All right. So far, so good. Now I have to remember now that there's no support on these things anywhere. And we should be able to, well, this side is already masked off, so I don't need to worry about this side. So all I have to do is just mask off this side everywhere except right here. And I'm going to want to do it very gently because when I remove the masking tape, it could hook onto some of this really fragile stuff and pull it crooked on me. I wonder if there's something else I could put on there. I wonder if I can still find the piece of cellophane or whatever you call it that came off of this side. I might still have it. I wonder if I crumpled it up. Okay, as luck would have it, I still got it. Now I only have to worry about it being sealed around the edges here. Watch out for my little ladders. Doesn't want to go on straight here. Okay, got to be so careful I don't get rambunctious here and rip some of these little tiny pieces off here. Alright, now I have to do the same thing right here that I did on the other side. That's not rocket science. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Okay, I've got this pulled off here, but it doesn't seem to be sticking down too good in some places. I'm wondering if I'm going to have to maybe get little strips of masking tape and put them on in strategic locations so that the airbrush doesn't blow underneath and lift this whole thing up. Not that it would be serious. You know, I'm probably going to be spraying, directly down this way and directly up from the other side. At least now it's completely masked on this side as well as on this side. This side we don't need to worry about. It's not going to come off. I'll think of something. In the meantime, let's have a package opening. Those of you who have been reading all of Tony's comments, you probably know what's in this package. Okay, I have wet my whistle. Why don't I just use the knife? If I cut along the edge here. Okay. HMS Hood Battle Cruiser upgrade sets. Okay, we've got metal cannons and metal propellers. That's probably more metal barrels and blast bags. What's this? We'll open this up in a minute and have a good look. Oh, I can see what through there already. I was afraid to take the top off in case I spilled something, but we won't be spilling this, but we will be opening it very, very carefully. Okay, we're going to need the macro lens for this. This is, I knew that Tony had got these, and I was thinking of getting a set myself. These are precision drill bits. And I believe they are done, or are made with circuit boards in mind. When you have to drill a tiny hole in a circuit board, I think that's what that's all about. Being as I've never drilled holes in a circuit board, I don't know for sure. But anyway, we'll stick the macro lens on and we'll have a nice close look at these. Now, these are probably manufactured by Trumpeter. At least they've got the Trumpeter label on here. I don't see why they couldn't do that. After all, if they, if they can mold the entire ship, they could probably turn these barrels too, or however they wanted to do it. These look a little bit more delicate than the plastic ones that came with the kit. The plastic ones that came with the kit, they're, well, once again, I'm going to have to zoom in a little bit. I'm just sort of shooting wide still so that we can see the entire package. Okay, I don't want to scratch this. And here's the blast bags. And would this be, what does this say here? Okay, this is, these would be the mounts for the gun. And these little barrels would go into it. It looks like all of these sprues are the same. Yeah, they're all the same. So there's enough blast bags for all the barrels, the large barrels, and then it appears that these go into here, and then this end would plug into the turret, and then we're going to have to spray these so that they look like whatever the canvas color would have been. Well, we'll worry about that when we get to it. Anyway, this is another real nice gift for us. Thank you, Tony. I say us because I think that a lot of people out in YouTube land are also enjoying this. So, okay. Now I did say I was going to put on the macro lens, and I keep not doing it. So let's do it. Let's put on the macro lens and look at these. Now, in the note that Tony sent along, he said that this one is 0.6 millimeters. And the green one is 0.7 millimeters. And the idea is that I'm supposed to use one of those to drill where the muzzle part of the barrel, not the muzzle part, but the breech part of the barrel goes in. And notice, I don't know if you can see it or not, but these barrels on the ends are actually flared out a little bit. I suppose I should take them out of the package, but I'm afraid of losing them. Well, we'll be seeing them really close up when we get to making our AA guns. Anyway, that's what these drill bits are all about. And the idea, these are supposed to be much more precise than these free ones that I got with my pen mill. In other words, they're probably sharp on the end. Okay, once again, thanks, Tony. Now, I just know that there's probably people that want to look at the propeller. Okay, enough of that. One more thing I want to show you. Now, I haven't tried this yet, but I'm pretty sure that the shank on these bits is designed so that it fits a 1/8 inch collet, which comes on most Dremel tools. Just get that nice and tight, and then I'll bring it back in your field of view. All right. Let's try it now and see what happens. I don't know if I will actually use this Dremel tool because the slowest it goes is 5,000 RPM, and even at its slowest speed, it has a tendency to melt the plastic, and you end up with a very large hole. So I'll probably use this in something else. But it's just interesting that these are designed for the 1/8 inch shaft, or collet rather. Okay. Now you can see right here, I'm touching onto the bare brass. So hopefully this is going to, okay, that'll help pull this down a little bit. I don't know. What else can we do here? This reminds me of when Nigel was putting little pieces of masking tape on the planking on the deck to demonstrate how to, paint the deck planking different colors. Where else could I put one here? Maybe that's too long, so that doesn't have to be that long, I don't think. Just want to make sure that it's, yeah, I think that's going to be all right. Okay, now maybe I could take and put a piece along here and fold it around under the back. Sort of like something like this. Yeah, I think I can do that. I don't think we're going to have time to spray today. This one here is too close to that. I can't get the spray to go down the top though. Can I get it off now without wrecking everything? Just move it over just a little bit here. I don't mind too much if the ends down here that I'm touching don't get painted perfectly, because they're going to be sort of stuck down in those little grooves on those parts. But I think I'm just a little bit too close to the top here. Just reposition just a little bit here. Oh, I bent that one. Oh, how did I do that now? Well, I know how I did it. Can I straighten that up? That's pretty good. I gotta be careful here. Ron, be mindful. Okay, I think we pretty much got it here. As you can see, there's no plastic. The airbrush should be able to go all the way around these parts. Spent a lot of time doing that. Now our friend Vic, who has had other good suggestions in the past as well, was suggesting, why don't you stick these on the end of a toothpick? Okay, I'm just gonna, there, I kind of pushed it on the end. Now, he said then you could mount the toothpick on your double-sided tape in such a way that the pointy side was down, and then just spray them like that. And I guess the idea would be when you would remove them from the toothpick, of course then the inside wouldn't be painted either then, would it? I have to think about that. Yeah, the inside of the thing would not be painted, but would that be a problem? Or then, as I said before, do they have to be painted? Why, maybe we could just leave them, just not paint them. Once again, in the comments, what do you think? Because this video is just about at the end. Now, another viewer was wondering, now that I've nipped these pieces here off of the sprue, how am I going to paint them? Well, this is sort of what I have in mind. And we kind of did this kind of thing on the Bismarck, if you remember. and it worked for the most part. Now, if I make a little hole in our double-sided tape here, nice and close to the center, I just run it through and I'll pull it out the other side. Okay, now I've got a little hole there. Now, I should be able to very carefully take this, very, very carefully, and hopefully this will fit in there. Should have the macro lens on, right? Did I get it through? I know this sort of thing did work on the Bismarck. I don't want to break anything here. No, that should stand up. Maybe I'll have to make a slightly larger hole than I did. And then as they rotate, I should be able to evenly spray all the way around it. At least that's the plan. You know, folks, I do believe that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow, and maybe tomorrow we'll get some spraying done. I really did think we were going to today.